Along my journey, I've crossed paths with some truly amazing people, different ages, different backgrounds, all carrying powerful stories and experiences.
We wanted to create a space where those voices could be heard, a place to laugh, reflect, and dive into everything from celebrity buzz and trending issues.
To the real life matters that shape our world.
These are conversations that connect us, uplift us, and remind us we're not alone.
I'm Queen Chela.
And I'm Never Ending Nina.
Welcome to Queen Chela and the Girls Next Door. Welcome to our world. All right, family, it's time for the rundown. We're about to discuss all the things that everybody else is talking about.
From the wild and hilarious to the heavy and real. But before we get started, we want to take a moment to honor one of our own.
That's right, our sibling Angel Santana. Initially, she lived here in Los Angeles, later moved to New York, New Jersey. She became a health advocate and a soldier for trans and our rights. And I remember this young lady from the block here in Hollywood. She was the girl that really stomped the yard, and she was one of our Puerto Rican siblings. And if you were from Sunset or Santa Monica Boulevard from the 80s and the 90s, you would know Angel. So we're sending all of those that loved her our condolences and love.
Rest in power, Angel. You'll always be with us.
Now, let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
First up, a wild story of payback that has folks talking. What happens when customers turn the tables on shady car dealerships?
Ooh,
Take a look. So, this car dealership, the wild thing about that car dealership situation is that the woman went to a car dealership and she wanted to, get a car. And I believe what happened is that they were like, okay, sure. And a few days later, they called her and like, no, we're not going to be able to do that. And so she said, okay. So I guess she found out that their name that they were using in terms of the name of the car dealership, it must have expired. And the moment that it expired, Mama ran down there and got that name. She copped it. She said, I'll take that very much. Boop.
Because they didn't want to sell, where they kind of like took back their offer to sell her
A car.
a car.
Uh-huh.
And so she, with
Uh-huh.
the business mind, said, went and took and got ownership of the car dealership via the name.
Yeah. So oh no, okay. So what happened is that they repossessed her car a few days later. Uh-huh. And so there was very much like, oh, the deal is off.
The shady said.
Shady said. So she said, oh, I got one
For you.
Uh-huh. Hold that. Watch this.
Hold the
Watch this.
line.
Hold the line. I'll be right back. So she very much went in there to the business folks and said, I'll take that name.
Okay.
She went back up in there and said, you must stop using this name immediately. Halt right now.
Listen, you are allotted to find your things by any means necessary.
So,
we love that.
This happened in Ohio. So, you go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Shout out to you, Black Queen.
That's right. Do that.
Get your rest.
Because job well done.
Speaking of shady dealings, what about when the product you're paying for is literally you?
What? Tell me more.
So let's break down the controversy. What does it really mean when your personal data and DNA are up for sale?
It's wild work. It's wild work indeed. I think the great thing about those services was that you get a chance to do some research on finding your ancestors and, the different generations of your family. But now the flip side is all that information plus your samples are for sale. Now that's listen, and even more, who wants to buy or what would you want to buy samples of someone's DNA for? Now I think that's the scary.
I think we're in the wild, wild west right now to where all of that information is currency. It's not just about money anymore. It's about we want your identity. We want to use all the things that you can identify yourself with because we could create different accounts. Everything is on in the digital space. So nothing has to really get confirmed unless you have those key points, your name, your social security number, your where you live, all these type of things. And it's going a step further of saying, no, we create a whole new you because now that we have your actual DNA, that is wild.
And I guess it's probably about because I do and I'm familiar with companies purchasing like information like your phone numbers and maybe your address and name
Yeah.
and things like that because they want to market to you in some way. So I guess that's expanded. If you have my DNA, do you find things to market me or market to me? Like, oh, bitch, I know you got sickle cell. So now, or,
Shout out to people who got
like,
sickle cell.
yeah, but I'm just saying, like, you're a diabetic, so I could tell by your blood. Let me get you some strips and some. Let me market medication to you or something. Like,
Or even more deviant of like, now that we know that you have, if case in point that you have diabetes, we know that pharmaceutical companies rule the landscape and that's
true,
money. And so we
true.
want you to continually getting worse and stuff like that so we could sell the
You
medication for
medication.
yes. Or the food, or the things that we know that in this society we are susceptible to. So it's a wild space and we look forward to the continuation of seeing where this is going. But I'm not doing 23 and me, 24 and me,
Yeah,
25 and me. I'm not doing it.
yeah. I'm very much you, myself, and I. Right. But at the same time, I think the scariest part is in time of intricate and really elaborate crimes.
Mm,
Now, how is this safe? How does this how do we know that this or someone's DNA isn't going to just be planted somewhere as a part of a crime,
yeah.
and then you're like, well, no, your DNA says that you were here, but in fact it was planted. So I think, and I don't think any company, any institution has proven itself to be trustworthy,
Yeah.
you know,
We'll keep a lookout.
yeah, yeah. Me, myself, and I
That's all we got.
to the end. Now that's deep. Woo, too deep.
Too deep.
Skin deep. Mm. But let's flip into something that speaks to our soul. Let's talk about the culture of our soundtracks. Well, the soundtracks to our lives. You get it? Not a movie, but hell, if you live like I live, your soundtrack could be a movie. Because I know, I actually love, which I just watched the other night, was an old school movie. I'm Gonna Get You Sucker.
Oh my God.
Listen. And so it says every hero has to have a theme song, right? So I think all eras of our life, all stages, we sort of have music that kind of goes along with it. So it does actually become the soundtrack.
Yeah. I mean, we are the creators of uh, the many genres of American music,
Yeah.
which is now international.
Okay.
And so particularly for Black Americans, that was one of the joy spaces that we were able to create those soundtracks
Mhm.
from, our internalized experiences and navigation in this world. And so now years, centuries later, decades later, to where we have these intricate elevations of our music
Mhm.
that continually touches our soul, creates newness with us, but also the nostalgia. Like you said, watching that movie and realizing, like, oh my God, this was such an amazing movie, but it also, the musicality of it also triggers the nostalgic
Yeah.
pieces of it and
Yeah.
honoring from where we come from.
And when you hear certain songs, you immediately are taken back, right? And it doesn't matter if you're at home or what I like those memories when they jump at you when you're like at the market, right? Or you're somewhere in a store and you hear this music come over the speaker. You're like, you get to jam in.
You get the jam
Hmm.
in. But yeah, but also it's a nuanced piece or a nuance of you as well because so much in the culture of creating our music, particularly with hip hop, that we still have so much more to grow and go and elevate with the genre because it's a male dominated
Mm,
genre that so many Black queer, Black LGBTQIA plus people are deeply involved in, but sometimes we're still in the gray area.
yeah, that's so true.
So it's I wouldn't even say love hate type thing, but it's still like it's kind of iffy. I only speak for myself. It's kind of iffy about this thing that I grew up and loved so much, but still does it see me? Even when I'm in that space.
Yeah. I didn't think, well, our siblings, throughout most anything that we could think of, have been a part of it,
Mhm.
right? We've already been found to be embedded in many works of art, right? And
True.
music is certainly no different. In terms of hip hop, it was just recently National Hip Hop Day earlier this month. And so we posted to social media, when did you fall in love with hip hop? And so now I'm asking you, when did you fall in love with hip hop?
Oh my God. Well, I always thought coming from the South, to me, the Mecca, the center was NYC.
Hmm.
So for me, in my little own observation and navigation, I was that video girl.
Talk to me.
Miss Mama's had her cut off shorts and her towel, and
Oh,
she had
that
cut layers.
towel. That towel.
So she had cut layers in the towel. Oh, and when Mama was gone, she was at work because that was the safe
That towel
space.
came out.
If you know, you know. But that's when I started to fall in love with like the 808s, the beat, the grittiness, the production, the bars, for better or worse, the masculinity of
The thump.
the thumb
Yeah.
of it. But then when I saw particularly the notorious KIM, Lil Kim, Salt and Pepper, Queen Latifah, Missy, Foxy, it was all that. I was like, oh, okay, you could still give that film, but you still can be gritty. You could still
Yes.
spit, you can
Yes.
still do all that and still look beautiful. And so
Hmm.
that was the thing that made me fall in love with hip hop, even though as I continued my own journey, like I said before, navigating it with like you side eyeing because you don't know are they gonna welcome me in really? But
Yeah.
also, all right, do your research. The girls have always been in hip hop. I'm just gonna keep it.
Mm-hmm.
The girls have always been in hip hop. If you do your research, why I said I wanted to be a video vixen, yes, because the girls were always there and in there as well. So that's a part of the history that sometimes when we talk about being in the gray area,
Hmm.
when you do your research, you find out that we have always been there.
For sure. For sure. Now, it may not have been public information,
No,
but
but we
we've
were
always
there.
been there. Yeah. Um, was there a particular song? I mean, you said a lot of grades, right? KIM, Queen Latifah, Foxy, right? Like, was there a particular song that just really resonated and said, "Okay, this is my one."
Well, it'd have to be Queen Bitch from Kim.
Dang. Okay.
When I heard
Okay.
that, I was like, oh, I got to get to New York.
Oh, shucks.
I got to walk down the streets.
Okay.
I got to feel my fish noodles.
Okay. Because Kim bought that out too.
Kim bought that till this day. And I've had two experiences where I saw her in concert and in a safe space. And it was such like he evoked and brought up all like the experiences of just listening and saying one day I hope like I see it and will she be the same? And she was the same. And that's the thing that tethered me to her,
Mhm, mhm.
even as we continue to expand in hip hop, particularly hip hop and in music and black music. But yeah, probably
Okay.
Lil Kim's Queen Bitch.
Okay.
What
All right.
about you, Queen?
Gosh, um, my musical background is so like eclectic. Y- I guess when I first fell in love with hip hop, I lived in the Bay. I lived in Oakland,
Okay.
and I guess I'm gonna say it's Run DMC.
Oh,
My Adidas,
okay.
right, was like one of the very first songs that I would have on a cassette, or I would record it on the radio. You know how you have to wait for the DJ to stop talking and then you push record and play real quick. So that was me with my Adidas. It was just something about how you mentioned that thump, that bass line, that 808, right? It just made me get up and move, right? So I think that's when I finally determined, oh, I love this song. This is it. It made me want to get up. But when I heard Queen Latifah, who you calling a, or you and
UNITY.
ITY, it took me to another level. I then had another understanding
Yeah.
because I said, oh, wait a minute. Hold on, I see a little bit of myself up in
Uh-huh.
here. So, so yeah, those two songs really
Okay.
had an
But
influence on
listen, we
me.
have some heavy hitters.
Yeah, we did. Music from the 80s and 90s were for sure off the
Yeah.
chain. But we also want to hear from you. What was your favorite hip hop song? When did you fall in love with hip hop? Let us know.
Tell us.
Hmm. You tell us. Okay.
Now that's the beauty of hip hop. It's all about truth and resilience. And speaking of resilience, we have to talk about what's happening in Georgia right now. Piping hot tea.
So, honey, if you get locked up in jail, if you get locked up, the little popo come and get you while you're living in Georgia. I don't know. Does it depend on what your sentence is or what your crime might have been? But they're basically making prisoners who are trans identified detransition. And so be careful if you're in Georgia.
And I think that's like the litmus test of what they're trying to bring across the nation. I just I just don't understand that as we continue this journey in this space and represent community, why we are such the hot topic. We're literally 0.10% of the population.
Well, I think it's because we become a
Fodder for the
yeah, yeah,
target, all that kind of
absolutely.
stuff.
We become sort of like the prelude, we become like the testing, right? If we could get enough people to not protest us isolating this group of people, then we could use that as reference when we're ready to isolate other people.
And which they are showcasing right now how to actually run it. And it's you have to understand the just the hatred and discrimination against this community, like you said, being the litmus test to usher in the hatred and the discrimination for every other community. And once they're quote unquote in their eyes done with us, they're able to move on to I guess the bigger population of who they want to dismantle. But my
Hmm,
thing that
hmm.
always sits with me is that if that is your game plan, once all these people are gone, done with, finito, how are y'all gonna run this country?
Yeah, which we're already finding
You
that.
can't.
And what's
You
worse is that there's no accountability to say, hey, you know what, back up,
none.
we messed up some, right? We thought we wrong. But it's a real trying time. So I was able to do a little research. So it was more clickbait. So the state of Georgia, they're conservative and they're basically saying that if you are incarcerated, you will not be able to receive any gender affirming medical care. So, so far there's 5 trans plaintiffs 2 men and 2 women who are doing a class action lawsuit oh snaps, on behalf of nearly 300 other prisoners in Georgia state prisons.
Wow.
So,
Outside of the bigger population of the prison,
yeah.
you're focusing on the 300.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Once again, I still do not understand. Hopefully, that we keep up the fight. Our Georgia people keep up the fight. Like it's sad, but once again, I think that speaks to the journey of your transition and understanding that yes, you want to make sure everything's in alignment, starting especially with your physical and all like that. But if your mental and your spiritual, if that's the first thing and the only thing that you can have in that time period,
Let that
don't
carry
fret
you
it.
through.
Yes.
Mhm.
You know,
Absolutely. Stay
because
true.
you know who you are. And yes, you can battle with for some who, go through their phases of dysphoria and all that kind of stuff, especially being in that space. It is hard. It probably is hard. I for sure know it's hard. But I would say keep your head up, keep your spirits up, know who you are. Go with inside yourself to know, like, okay, well, they might try to keep me down with this, but I do know myself. And so that's what we would extend
Mhm.
to you all, the community members who are dealing with that right now.
Yeah. I concur. Absolutely. Um, Medical care certainly does help us in a way where it enhances, our presentation,
Mhm.
but it doesn't make who we are.
Right.
So it's a really trying time right now, and never ending. Nina and I had a discussion before we started filming just about how heavy we should even think about getting in terms of our conversation, and I just want to say this. I recently just said this in a speech. Um, our liberation, it came from our siblings who just had enough and decided to throw a brick. They decided to fight and say no more. And I just want to say that right now we're under attack and we are in a very trying time.
Yeah.
But we may not necessarily throw a brick like our ancestors did. But I will say that there are a lot of things being built by our siblings that are for us, by us. And I want each and every one of you to think about how you can add and contribute your brick to
Yeah.
what's being built. But be activated. It's important to not sit this one out.
And that's the rundown. Stories that keep us thinking, laughing, and pushing forward.
Because at the end of the day, it's not just about the headlines, it's about how these stories shape our lives. Stay
Stay
tuned
tuned
because
because
we
we
got
got
more
more
coming
coming
your
your
way.
way.
Okay, so far, everything looks pretty good. What? What? Oh, fuck! No! Wire hangers! What? Listen, I'm not mad at you. I'm mad at the plastic hangers. By the way, no, we're kidding. But please, we don't have any wire hangers. We don't have any plastic hangers. But we do have all of these wonderful clothes waiting for you.
Come on in. We have everything that you could want from shirts, dresses. We even have skirts, shorts, and pants. Just come on in as we're waiting for you.
That's right. We got binders, we got snacks. So come on, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. The ready to wear closet is for you.
We welcome you. Come on in.
So recently we were at the Flux Pool Party downtown LA, and we got to speak with some of our community members about their joy.
Well, right now we are at the third annual Lux Pool Party. This year's theme is called Buns and Guns. So we are at the famous Perla Hotel, the rooftop pool. Not just any pool, but the rooftop pool. Take a gander at all of our siblings practicing joy.
Here we are another year.
Once again, time to get the putas wet. Okay. So I am with one of our favorite siblings, Miss Mickey. Mickey, I want to ask you a question. So we're here at a pool party. It's summer, but we wanted to know, how do you define joy?
Having fun, around people, great time, great company, being myself in my couple life, and showing you in the book.
Okay, right. So with everything that's happening right now in the political world, how do you find ways of joy, of being happy and
Being around people, my spirit, my spirit.
okay? So you have a strong support system at home.
Yes, me and my dogs.
Your dog. Yes. Okay. So that's it from our sibling Mickey. We're gonna be asking a few more people how do they define joy? We'll be right back.
I got a girdle on too. Oh,
Hi, it's your girl from the block again. So I'm still at the pool party. We told you we'd give you that inside look. So I'm here with one of our siblings, Anthony Daniel. With everything that's happening right now, we need joy more than ever, right? And this pool party is an example of us building and presenting joy.
Right.
What other way do you find joy?
I think for me, I find joy in being able to be gender diverse. I enjoy being able to live my life as a trans man who does drag queen stuff. So I don't know if you know that, but I do drag queen stuff. And not only do I do drag queen stuff, I use my actual like birth name as my drag queen name. So being able to live in a truth that is my own is how I'm able to express joy in the most positive and most healthy form. And I feel that me being able to be a kind of person who could do something like that also would inspire other people to be like, if they want to, if they choose to be able to maybe see their dead name as maybe something that could be given repurpose. So I repurpose mine, and I'm Amanda Victoria. Out of a drag, Anthony Daniel. And yeah, that's how I'm able to express my joy.
I love that. So basically, I heard we should do more drag.
We should, absolutely.
Did you hear that, America? Thank you for your time.
No problem, no
Appreciate
problem. Thank you.
So I am with our very favorite international ally, not of just the year, but of the decade, okay? Our friend and our family member, Laura. And not just any friend, but she's also representative of AHF, one of our friends and one of our sponsors to help keep our work that we are doing at UWC going. So we are here at a very joyous occasion. It's summer. We outside. We're just asking people, with everything that's happening right now in the world outside, how do you find joy?
Woo! I mean, and thank you for the introduction. I mean, the feelings are way above mutual. You know, it's a pleasure, honor, and I would say ultimately a privilege to be here, support, and do everything I can to support my siblings, especially like you said in these times. I want to say finding joy currently is very challenging for a lot of people. And for me, what gives me the ultimate joy is being able to help my patients, being able to get them either the HIV prevention care, the HIV positive care, but also receiving those calls to say, you know, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have been able to get my medication. If it wasn't for HIV, I wouldn't be in a non-detectable status. And those phone calls really, really, really make my day, my week, and ultimately give me a purpose to be in this world. So that will truly, truly gives me joy. It doesn't matter how bad my day is. When it comes to getting those phone calls, I mean, they give me tears, and you know I'm a crybaby. Yeah, but they're good tears.
Yeah,
So
tears of joy.
I mean, of joy, of just white cloud, pink cloud, blue cloud, rainbow cloud. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, I just want to say thank you for the work that you do and just for the guidance that you offer and for the allyship. In times like this, it's always good to have and necessary. So we want to tell everyone, like, how do we reach the wonderful services that AHF does, not only locally, but globally?
Absolutely. So, whether if it is that you need HIV prevention care, PEP prep, HIV positive care, or you want to know your status when it comes to STD, STI testing, you can always look us up at AIDShealth.org or AHF.org. Click on your locations, look up your zip code, find either our wellness centers or healthcare centers. We have linkage specialists that can not only schedule your appointment, but give you transportation to your appointment. And myself, as a pharmacy rep and also patient care liaison, we do offer free delivery for your medication. And not only your HIV preventive medication or HIV positive medication, but also if you have diabetes, high cholesterol, or if you're someone like me that suffers from depression and anxiety, also includes those medications. So please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We are here for the community. And like Mama Shayla said, Queen Chela said, we do this on a domestic status, but also on a global scale. So please do not hesitate. We are here to love you. We are community. We stand together and we stand united. Thank you so much. God bless you guys, and it is a pleasure.
For a recap, always visit our website at the uwc.org. And thank you to Flex and also HF for sponsoring such an empowering safe space. We'll be back.
Aw,
Thank you.
thanks.
Transgiving, a day when we all come together to appreciate each other, and a good meal. For over 2.5 decades, our community has supported and fed each other every November, giving us all a chance to rest and forget life's hardships for a little while. Our Honors Awards shine a spotlight on some incredible individuals in our community who have made a mark in their own unique ways. And, of course, there's the delicious food. Unique Women's Coalition provides hot, fresh meals for every Transgiving attendee, creating a space where no one feels alone for this holiday, a space where everyone can eat well and enjoy themselves. So join us on November 22nd for Transgiving 2025. Visit www.theuwc.org for more details. See you then.
Child, we got a new segment we are going to introduce today. It is cooking on a dime, okay? Budget as in dime. So take a look at this fancy meal on a non very fancy place, but go on, check it out. Hi, siblings. So we're going to introduce something brand new to you today. Well, it really isn't brand new. We're just reformatting it a bit. It is cooking dinner on a dime. Now, if you're anything like me, you may have had some financial challenges, right? And so you may not always be able to afford the meals that you want, right? Y'all know when you're broke, you got to make things happen. So we're going to help make things happen today. So today we're going to cook a little simple dish, rice and a little corned beef hash. Now, don't be like that. Corned beef hash are good, okay? So first thing that we're going to do is set up our area. So we have our little hot plate, and we're using a hot plate today on purpose, just so depending on whatever your living situation is, we wanted this segment to be obtainable by anybody, right? So here we go. First thing is I already added a little heat to my hot plate, and I'm going to use just 1 full cup of oil. I like to use a little olive oil, but if you broke, you're going to use that vegetable oil. We ain't tripping. We'll use 2 cups full. Okay? Like so. Everybody know, honey. I know we all miss that 99-cent store. Whoo-hoo, okay. So I'm just going to move this around a little bit inside of the pot so that it actually covers the bottom. Okay, like so. Boom. So as you see, I already have my onions cut, I have my garlic cut, and my tomatoes. And so we're going to start with the onions first. Okay, we a little warm up in there. Do we see a little heat? I feel a little heat. This is one whole onion. Y'all can hear that sizzle? Got some real cooking there. So just make sure that the onions are laid out across the bottom of the skillet or the pot, just so that we make sure that everything is getting cooked. Now, if y'all living and using a hot plate, you know you got to be patient, okay? Let's turn a little. Wait! See? Listen. Something you can always do while you're having a little meal waiting on saute. So good. Okay, so now that our onions have sort of gotten a little in there, they're mixed in with all the grease really well, we are going to go for our next item, which is the minced garlic. Don't you love how they do that on TV? Yeah. They just have the right measurements already done. Oh, and that's good. So, the fragrance, the fragrance. Okay, hold it. Don't forget to hold that pot. Okay. We cooking now. If y'all don't see the glistening on my nose, you see I'm starting to shine. Yes, I am, because it's hot up in here. They got it in Studio B today, not Studio A. Hello. So we're gonna give this another 2 minutes. Well, maybe a minute and a half. Let it stir in there. Oh, it smells so good though. Y'all know. Yes. Cheers. Okay, we're gonna give this a nice stir again. Oh, make sure you scrape the bottom. You don't want anything sticking on the bottom. Ooh, wee. Now, everything looks so scrumptious. The onions have softened. Yes. Now we are ready to add our meat. So this is our famous canned meat. You can find it in any grocery store, any discount store. It's that good old-fashioned corned beef. You know, this is what the can look like, corned beef. Again, the recipes are on our website. So we can just squeeze the can a little bit, let all that meat just fall in there. Uh-huh. Well, you know, well, it is canned meat, so it needs a little chunk, little help. We ain't got no problem getting a little help. When your meal want to fight you, you just fight that heifer back. All this, I pay for all this. You coming right on up in this pot. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yes. Thank you very much. Oh, got a little corner. Don't forget the corners. Hold on. Because when you broke, every corner counts. Okay. Thank you. And just, of course, break it up. Make sure that it's loosened up inside of your pot because you want it to cook. Okay? You don't want to be serving nothing raw. Okay? Yes. And you could, at this point, add a little seasoning. Now, mind you, everything you cook, you season it to taste. Your taste. Not everybody else's taste, but yours, okay? Now, if you cooking this for other people to enjoy, you obviously want to consider that. So obviously the basics are salt and pepper, you know, maybe a little garlic, maybe a little onion, salt. So, and if you like a little fire, a little heat, then add some cayenne pepper or some chili powder if you like. but not too much. Always make sure you taste your food as you go along. I learned that from Gordon Ramsay. Okay, so we're just gonna add a little salt. I usually start with like, you know, we from the special place, from the neighborhood. We don't really measure, right? We just kind of like glance at things and be like, oh, that's enough. I'm gonna do the same thing. That's probably about 2 pinches. Okay. I'd rather start with too little, and then as I taste it, as I continue to cook, I'm able to add more if necessary. You rather end with less and more. Okay. So that's the salt. I'm going to add a little garlic salt. Same thing, enough just so it's like a pinch. Yeah, some people add all of their seasoning and then stir it. I like to add each element and then stir it. I'm a firm believer that every little thing you put on your plate should have its own flavor, it should have its own taste. In other words, every dish should stand alone. Okay, well, come on, black pepper. What this is? Garlic powder? Hell, doom. And I'm really not the best person when it comes to heat. What this is? Seasoning salute. Okay. All right. Chili powder. We might keep that to the side. Oh, okay. We'll keep that to the side too. Did I miss anything? Oh, a little cayenne pepper. Okay. Just a little. Oh, it ain't even open a little. All right, let's open that up. Everything in there cooking still nicely. Just a touch. I think that's more than enough. And of course, we can taste it later and we can decide if we like more or less. So well, I'm just waiting on this to get real good. Um, so I can show y'all in a minute. Now, like I told y'all, whenever y'all cook something, make sure that y'all taste it everywhere. Come on! Listen. It ain't nothing. Like when you prepare a little something on your little hot plate, my little single apartment, honey, my little corner, getting my life. Did I mention a good liquid is good too? Okay, so we have, I'm gonna just show y'all a little bit. I'm gonna show y'all what that look like up in there. See that? Mmm. Yes, okay. Don't ever say I'm not gonna tell you. Okay, so now we're gonna add a little tomato for those of y'all that like tomato. Okay. You see, we're still doing it like they do on TV. Everything prepared. We just dump the whole thing up in there. And I'm going to just reach up under this tray and it's going to be the voila. No, we ain't got that kind of money. So I'm doing it in my hand. Okay. Okay. Now, at this point, it is cooked. It is done. Now, we made a little rice while it was on commercial break. So we add this little rice and a little spoonful of your corned beef hash. You got yourself a full meal. Oh, and by the way, we use microwave rice. A little for help from Uncle Ben's. Throw that in the microwave for 90 seconds. Good. Adds to that meal. So, now some people actually use ketchup in their corned beef hash. So, in case you do, I'm just going to give you a little some. Well, when it's open. Just a little squirt or two. Boom. I mean, with anything, I don't want one element of the meal to overpower the others, right? I want everything to have a very nice collective taste. We want everything to add and enhance to the other members of the recipe. Okay, there we have it. A little corned beef and hash. All right, now it's time to make that meal. Mm-hmm. Voila, we got ourselves a meal. Bon appetit. Ooh, we had a wonderful show tonight.
We did.
An amazing time. We hope that you did too. But be sure to follow us on all social media. And remember, always be nice to your neighbor. She could be
A girl next door.
Good night.
Bye.